Well, okay, so that dear leadery thing, before everybody went around kissing his ass, he gave this opening statement that Trump did. And he said he had done almost as much as FDR. No modern president has ever accomplished as much as he did in the amount of legislation. So we looked at the legislation. There were 13 bills packaged together that had to get through in the first 100 days because it had to do with regulations, right? And so you have in 1996, they passed a law saying that if you were going to undo the previous president's regulations, it had to be done in the first 100 days. So they packaged them together. They voted on one of those was to say that people who were mentally ill could get guns. Because Obama had put a regulation in place saying mentally ill could not get guns. And they didn't like that regulation, so they undid it. This is what our dear leader was crowing about. Okay, this was one of the things he did. The other things he did was, he named 2 people to the Smithsonian board. He named a building, and he declared a place for a monument. I mean, really, he did nothing. But one of the things that were packaged in those 13 regulations that he wanted to overturn was a regulation against the mentally ill being able to get guns. This guy obviously had a criminal record. They kept dismissing it and they kept ignoring it, whatever. But he had a domestic battery. How many times have especially women said, if the guy has been adjudicated for domestic battery, meaning he beat his wife, he beat his daughter, whatever, he shouldn't be able to have a gun.
Exactly. And I don't know, okay, I saw this thing on The Daily Show. But the guy said that he wanted to learn how to be a good guy with a gun. I think that's what the Jordan Klepper, good guy with a gun. But anyway, he had a gun and he was practicing with the police. So there was an active shooter engagement. So he goes out with his gun, and the bad guys come in and they just shoot him all up. And then the police come in. They can't tell that he's not with the bad guys. So the police shoot him too. How are you? If I saw somebody with a gun, there was a whole bunch of bullets being fired, and I saw some dude I didn't recognize with a gun, I'm going to blast his ass, too, because he might be one of the bad guys.
It makes no sense. No, it doesn't. And there were good guys there with guns. They were called Capitol Police, and 2 of them were shot. So, this whole idea of a good guy with a gun is the solution for a bad guy with a gun, not today. No, not today.
Yeah, what happens when it's your turn in the bucket?
Exactly.
And you would everybody at the grocery store.
So, these lovely speeches they gave today, Paul Ryan, when you shoot one of us, you shot all of us. Gabby Giffords was shot in the freaking face, and they did nothing. They did absolutely no thing. In fact, when anybody tries to do anything to keep guns out of the hands of people who should not have them, the NRA goes crazy. The commercials go up on the TV. They're coming to get your guns. They're coming to take them away. Ha ha he he. You need to go to the funny farm, but you should have a gun. Do you know? Right. It's just the.
And they killed her on Twitter today.
Oh.
All of the conservatives that are mad. I mean, all she said was, "My thoughts and prayers go out to the people that were shot," and everybody, a large group of people on Twitter, what they're saying. You know what? You're one of those liberals trying to take away our guns.
So that's another thing. They're trying to say that we're the vulgar ones, that we're the people that, can't have the conversation. We're the ones that can't suffer, Trump supporters and all this. Meanwhile, I take them first, right? If somebody's nasty and hostile, I take them first. And then I wander into their chat rooms, right? And I just told you the story yesterday that I went into the Fox News chat room.
You got kicked out.
They called me every freaking name that you could possibly, I mean, the C word, the P word, I'm a liberal, a libtard, a feminist, a snuff, whatever they could throw. And all I asked was, why do you think Jeff Sessions left Comey alone in the room? And that's all I asked. And they went crazy with their name calling and and you should, my Facebook page too is full of them, full of their horrible stuff. how
Yeah,
I'm
well,
no
that-
really, I'm ugly and I'm a feminist and I'm a
Well,
this
they're
and
wrong about that. Well, the feminist
whatever.
part-
And
the
I
ugly part
still, but
wrong.
I still talk to them. I still say, okay, so let me just ask you a question because I'm curious, right? And I'll ask them a question, and they keep going and keep going. And now they're going to say it's us who are the vulgarians. It's us, right?
Listen, you motherfuckers, we're going to tax you 25%.
It's us. We're the vulgarians. No, it's the Republicans who allow any idiot to have a gun, no matter what their mental health status is, no matter what their criminal record is, no matter how many times they've punched somebody in the face or committed battery on their daughter or took a pocket knife and cut their kid out of a car because they wanted her to come home and she was running away, so they succumbed to violence. And now all of a sudden, the cops come, he's shooting 30 rounds in a cornfield, and they go, you know what, we know you have a police right, just don't shoot it here. Just don't, And then the guy freaking snaps and is staking out a baseball field at a YMCA across the street for months. And he finally pulls the trigger. And it has to do with our inability to argue with a Trump supporter and not the gun and not the mental health of the person who shot the gun. No.